Luke 23. We read in Luke 23 of how Pilate judged Jesus, and Pilate comes over and is very convinced as to the innocence of Jesus, and he tries very hard to save Jesus from crucifixion. But he appears weak and easily manipulated by the Jewish crowd who obviously wanted to kill Jesus. Pilate tries by all means to save Jesus, and he appears utterly shocked and amazed that the Jews would want to see a totally innocent man crucified. Pilate comes over as a weak man who desperately wants to do the right thing, who has a fear of God and a fear of Jesus, but who's just too weak. He allows himself to be manipulated and apparently pays attention to his wife sending him a message warning him that Jesus is a righteous man. Now, critics of the Bible make a big deal of this because the Pilate recorded in history was not at all like this. Pilate in history is recorded as a man who's got no conscience, who was cruel, who enjoyed killing people at random, who took pleasure in torturing people to death. I'm prepared to accept he was indeed like that, for many of the Roman rulers were like that. But I see no contradiction between that picture of Pilate, which we find in the history books, and the picture of Pilate presented in the Bible. Because the simple truth is that every man has a conscience. There is a hole in the heart of every man, which only Jesus can fill. When man encounters Jesus, he realizes this is the truth. People may shrug it off and pretend they're not interested, but they're acting. Deep within every heart, there is the sense that Jesus is the answer and he has a claim on me. It's human pride that stops people saying yes and accepting that answer. So don't think that the people around you aren't interested and aren't touched by your message. Some of them may be like Pilate was in the history books, apparently without conscience. But when they encounter the message of Jesus that you tell them, you're touching their heart. That's why they sometimes respond to you with anger or act somehow strangely. If you were preaching any other religion to them or trying to sell them something, the response would be different. I reckon you know exactly what I mean. You'll have observed this, I think, with people you've spoken to about the gospel. And that is the great evidence that Jesus is indeed the ultimate truth. The truth that saves, that leads to true forgiveness for those who accept him. And we have said yes to him and live in good conscience before him.